Well, here we are still on section 3. We kind of broke this up into a few clips. We did a worming clip and a few things in here. So thought we'd kind of figure out the rest of the session here with you guys. So what we worked on there was just kind of bringing that life up again, getting him to lope out. Now, the other thing I wanted to do with this session, and it's kind of a bigger session. We're doing quite a bit with him, actually. But we want to get him used to some stuff just kind of landing on him here, the stick and string. And notice here, he's not too excited about it here. He's a little bit flighty, but I'm not forcing it on him. I just kind of let him guide and direct through that, and I just kind of ask for a little bit of feel on that halter and lead there. And notice there he kind of finally faced up and found it, but I just let him figure it out. I'm not trying to stop him and holler and whoa and tell him to stop and all that. Just letting him figure it out, because again, we're trying to raise a horse that we want to ride. And you know, if you're riding a horse and he kind of freaks out for some reason, there's not typically an off button right there in the first month or so of riding necessarily, depending on how you start them. So they got to kind of learn to help you out and figure things out on their own. And so the more times I can just wait on him to figure it out, the better off we're going to be when it comes time to start riding them. And then we're just going to kind of let things progress here, swing it around him, over his back, around his legs, things like that. And I don't like to overdo this stuff, because you'll find that if you just kind of get the idea, that you'll be fine. I'm not a super big fan of heavy desensitizing, and I don't really even use that term much anymore, desensitizing, because I actually prefer my horses to try to stay somewhat sensitive, but maybe more focused, right? If he's focused, he doesn't have to be desensitized. And I think sometimes if you over desensitize them, they'll actually get kind of dull. But then if they don't focus well, you'll actually have a worse situation. So here we're going both sides now. That can be an issue sometimes. So I went over the top, I went over his back, I went behind his legs and stuff. Now I'm going left and right. And this is a big change from when we first began here. He's starting to kind of soften and think. He's got his ears up, he's faced up, things are pretty good. Now we're working on a little bit of softening here. Notice each and every day, every session, he's just a little softer off that rope. Here he's kind of licking and chewing, and you see he's coming around with his head and neck, and his ears are perked, and he's kind of thinking, just kind of spending some time in close. And now we're checking out the backup. Notice how soft he is and light. He just starts to give, and then I'll rub on him some more here. So we kind of move and then don't move, and move and don't move. And there he's kind of a little bit curious and just kind of checking things out. And then we're just going to take a second here. We're going to handle his feet, and I don't necessarily like going straight to the feet. There's a lot of things these little babies can do at first, and they can strike and kick or get scared, and just little quick things that can happen. So I'm going to put my rope down there at first, just twirl it around the leg there a little bit, just kind of do a little bit of stretching and pulling and giving. It doesn't have to be perfect here. I'm just kind of trying to get the thought of him picking up his foot and stuff. And so we did a little bit of that, and then before I turned him out here, I want to just kind of come up to him a few times and pet on him and just work on where we could maybe get him to be caught a little easier for the next session or two. So here we're just kind of coming up to him in a nonchalant manner, just rubbing on him, and there he's really letting down. That's something we want to see really throughout these sessions and stuff like that. So here we're just going to go ahead and turn him out. So he follows me in and follows me out, and things are looking good. So I'm super happy with how this session went. It was probably one of the bigger sessions, but I think from here we're going to be able to coast and go just a little bit quieter with him. So I just want to get on here real quick. I kind of missed the closing comments earlier, right after the session. I had some crew out, but just wanted to say how proud I am of Little Preacher and his progress, and just kind of explain a little bit. I did in the video as well, but just how it's such a balanced process, and maybe not exactly what people might think is balanced, because it's not perfect and it's not 100% soft and cuddly and all these things. But what it is it's balanced in that he can experiment between right and wrong, right? He can find out what's wrong, he can find out what's right, and he can figure out on his own what he'd like to do. And I think about these things because I teach upwards of 1,000 people a year with their horses, and so I get to see a lot of different things go on. And one thing I get to see is the most common things that people struggle with. And one of the biggest things is the horse is making the right kind of mental choices. And it's almost like when they very first come that the horses don't know how to think. It's like the try has been taken out of them. It's like, oh, well, you're probably not going to notice when I try anyhow, and you've missed it so many times that I'm just going to kind of stand here and take it. And then when I can't take it any longer, I'm just going to try to quit. Meaning they put all their effort into something bad that they know you'll just back off for. They're going to rear up or run off or get real stiff or just stand like a statue and don't do anything. And, you know, it's not that they're stubborn. They've evaluated the situation and they're smart. They know that that is their best option for relief in those moments. So don't be afraid of allowing your horses to learn and to search and to grow. And it's okay if the sessions aren't perfect. You know, that's partly why I'm showing you guys this. He's a little rough. He's, you know, got a dull coat and he's got some mud on him. Whatever. It's like, it's fine. He's going to grow up to be a beautiful horse, I'm sure, someday. But this is kind of behind the scenes that most people don't want to show you. They don't want to show you that. They want to show you the nice finished horse. It's all slicked off and fat and sassy and perfect and all the things. So, got some time. We're not going to film all these sessions, but just a few of them so you guys get a feel for things. So, all right. Well, hope you guys all having a good day. We'll catch you all later.